Realised that I didn't think I had anything much to say this week. Well, that's been partially true, and it's also true it's been a really busy week. And I don't know whether your week's been busy, but it just seems that every day has had things taking place. So, but I was thinking about it today and just thinking, well, I had a couple of thoughts, and I thought I'd come and just share with you for a little while. If I was going to put a title on this little talk, it would be What I Learned from My Dog. Well, actually, I don't have a dog. But this week, our daughter that lives in Phoenix, along with her daughter, they're out of town. And so Denise and I are dog sitting. Now, if it weren't for the fact that dogs need constant attention, I really would probably like to have a dog, because when I have a dog, the dog needs to go for a walk. And so I find that I'm a lot more active when the dog's here than when the dog's not here. But of course, then you also have to be making provisions for the dog. You have to go home. You can't leave the dog locked up, and so we don't have a dog. But this week I've got a dog. And so this morning I got up, and it was still pretty early. It was still pretty cold. And so I took the dog and we went off into the desert. And it's quite interesting. It was early in the day. I wasn't feeling particularly wide awake. But I've got the dog on the leash, and it quickly becomes apparent that the dog is sensing stuff that I'm not seeing. I'm walking down the path, and all of a sudden the dog stops, and you see his ears go up, and he's looking around. And then after a minute or two, he seems satisfied, and so now we start going down the path, and again he stops. And he takes a step off to the side, and there's a bush, and out of the bush jumps a rabbit, and off into the distance the rabbit goes. And he would have followed the rabbit had he not been on the leash. Well, I don't want to let the dog loose in the desert, partly because I don't want him catching the rabbit, but also there's all sorts of thorns and stuff. Sometimes when he's gone off in the desert in the past, I've had to spend 10 minutes with a pair of pliers trying to get out all the prickles that got into him. But what it struck me as was, I was going down there today, he was aware of a whole set of things around him that I wasn't aware of. There was a smell, there was a rabbit, there's something in a bush, something had been here previously, maybe yesterday, I don't know. But I realized that he had a whole different awareness of what was going on around him than I had. He saw things I didn't. He stopped for things I didn't even know were there. And I was thinking, as I was realizing that, I thought, wow, that's how we should be. Lord, help me to be aware of what's going on around me, and to be able to stop, and to be able to be alert. I don't know about you, but I often am so busy, I'm so intent to get to the next task, to the next meeting. I've got an appointment, I've got to meet a guy. Actually, I do have to meet a guy, but that's another story. But that's how my day is. I've got to get going. I've got to be. But Lord, help me to be aware of the fact that even in the midst of my busyness, there's a whole parallel spiritual realm that is not easily seen. If you're not careful, you're going to ignore it. And so, my prayer this morning as I was walking, and I thought I need to go and share that thought with you, my friends, that why don't we ask the Lord to help us to see those things which, if we're not careful, we're going to ignore. There are needs around us. There are opportunities around us, opportunities to minister, to encourage, to witness. But if we're not careful, we are just blind, and we go through days on days and days, unaware that indeed all these other things are happening around us. And I think there's another aspect to this, that so yes, Lord, I do pray that you'll make me aware of what's going on, and that I'll just not be going through life unaware like I was this morning. I'm going through the desert with the dog, and I had no idea of all these other things that he was aware of. There's another aspect to this, though, that there's the sort of reverse twist of that. I read the story of, I don't remember his name, but I remember the story of a blind man. He was the first blind man to reach the summit of Mount Everest, and I know he wrote several books about, I think it was called Farther Than the Eye Can See. When you think about that, it's interesting that a blind man would write a book by that title, right? Farther Than the Eye Can See. I do want to see beyond what my eyes can see. But I've also realized that sometimes we allow what our eyes can see to limit what we can do. I think that blind man, he got up to the top of Everest, and likely he was unaware of the dangers and of the things that were on either side. If you or I had been going up Mount Everest, I think I would have been petrified looking down. What happens if I do this? What happens if a lot of the time, you just don't know. You don't see that. But sometimes we do see danger and we get preoccupied. We get preoccupied with what I see. I see the symptoms. I see the circumstances. I see. But Lord, help me to be more focused on that spiritual realm. Help me, Lord, to be less influenced by what I see and more influenced by what I know is taking place around me. Just a little while ago today, I got an email from a friend, this guy. I don't speak to him often, but I would call him a friend. But he was sharing that back in February, he lost his job. Guess what? February's 3 months ago. I was unaware of any of that. Now, I don't know that I could have done anything, except I could have reached out to him and told him, look, I know you're going through tough times. I want you to know I'm praying for you. I want you to know I'm supporting you. What can I do to help? Just was another example to me that, Lord, help me to be sensitive to what's going on around me. But also, Lord, help me not to be preoccupied by what I see. Help me to, yes, see the needs, the opportunities, the challenges, but also, Lord, help my faith to move beyond what I can see with my eyes. I remember telling you about that sign that was in the church when I grew up. It was a church that believed in divine healing, but it had a huge big sign at the front of the church, and it said, pay no attention to symptoms. Man, we are so preoccupied by symptoms, and we believe what our eyes see rather than what the word says. So that's sort of a blend of all sorts of different things. You can do your own topic on it, but wouldn't it be great if we can be aware of the spirit realm? And that, Lord, I pray that when there's an opportunity or there's a door that I need to go through or something like that, make me aware of it. And Lord, help me to have my voice open, my ears open, so that when you speak, I'll hear. Sometimes that instruction that we miss is an instruction to go, but sometimes I believe it's an instruction to stop. But we're so busy and we're so rushing, like I was with the dog. I'm not wanting to be stopping to look. I didn't know there was anything there, but that's just how my life is. Go, 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 go. Maybe sometimes we need to say, Lord, help me to slow down. Help me to listen to you. Help me to be aware. So that's my thought for the day. Well, today's Friday. So by a process of deduction, tomorrow is Saturday, and then we'll meet again on Sunday. Sunday is Mother's Day. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on Mother's Day. So if you're able to join us in person, that'd be great. If you're not, then tune in, watch us on Facebook. We're still doing that. This week Mark's away, so I'm hoping and praying that we'll be able to get on Facebook and that you'll be able to join us. But whenever we see you, just know that it'll be great. We're looking forward to it, and I'll see you very soon. Okay? All right. God bless. Bye-bye.